Welcome back to Gail at Night. This case right here is disturbing on multiple levels, and it actually started going viral for the wrong reason. Because at first, people thought this was about free speech. But once you look deeper, you realize this situation is way darker. So here's what happened. A 45-year-old Michigan man is now in custody, but not because of a viral post people were arguing over online. He actually came to the law enforcement's attention after posting an anti-Semitic meme targeting Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. And that post blew up. People started debating the First Amendment, free speech, and whether he should be arrested for it. Oakland County Sheriff's Office posted this statement on X. There's been a lot of noise and misinformation about what was said at our anti-Semitism press conference, so let us be clear. People of all faiths stood together for one purpose: to say no to anti-Semitism. Not quietly, not conditionally, clearly and unequivocally. This is not about politics or constitutional debates. It's about what we as people are willing to accept. Anti-Semitic speech should never be normalized. When it shows up on the street, in the workplace, or online, we have a responsibility to confront it, not ignore it. The photo that's been circulating was shared with us by someone who received direct, threatening communication. It was used to illustrate a larger point. Anti-Semitism is being mainstreamed in ways that should concern every one of us. That information was forwarded to another police agency that already had a felony warrant for that individual. We have had no role in that case or arrest. Let us also be clear, posting that image was not a crime, and it was not treated as one. But it is a symptom of a growing problem, one where too many people look the other way, or worse, lend their support. The hateful responses we've seen since only reinforce that reality. Don't hide behind the First or Second Amendment to deflect from the issue. That's not what this is about. This is about standing up for your neighbors, whether they are Jewish or not, and refusing to accept hate as normal. But here's the part that completely changes the story. Authorities made it clear he was not arrested for the meme. He was arrested because behind the scenes, he was already wanted for something far more serious. According to investigators, this same man had 2 felony stalking warrants out for his arrest. And what he's accused of doing to these victims is terrifying. Police say he targeted 2 different women and allegedly spent at least a year harassing and stalking them. We're not talking about a few messages. We're talking about thousands of emails, hundreds of phone calls, repeated, escalating contact over time. And I'm going to pause right here for a second. Because when people hear numbers like that, it's easy to think, oh, just block them. Just block them. But when you've actually been targeted, harassed, doxxed, and stalked, you know it's never that simple. It doesn't just stay on one platform. It doesn't just stop because you ignore it. And it doesn't feel random when it keeps happening over and over again. And then the threats. This is where it gets extremely disturbing. Investigators say he didn't just threaten violence. He allegedly told these women he would kill them and even eat one of their corpses. That's not just harassment anymore. That's psychological terror. And I'm telling you right now, from experience, once it escalates to threats like that, it changes everything. You start thinking differently, moving differently, because you don't know how far that person or their cult followers are willing to go. And it didn't stop there. Authorities say he also sent the victims photos of a stockpile of weapons. So now you've got obsessive contact, graphic death threats, cannibalistic statements, and images of weapons. That combination is exactly what makes cases like this so dangerous. Because at that point, the fear isn't hypothetical anymore.
Mocking meme showing Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard as an Orthodox Jewish man, showcased by Bouchard in a press conference last week to demonstrate Jewish hate after the attack at Temple Israel.
Some pond scum felt empowered and emboldened enough to put this picture of me up to try to threaten and intimidate me, which of course he didn't do because I signed up for this.
This week, the meme became a battle cry for the First Amendment on social media after Bouchard says the man who posted it was arrested. Jarring commentary attacking the sheriff circulated by the millions on X. Too much to show on TV. Even a local ammunition company, Phoenix, hopped on board, printing it on bags of ammo, saying free speech is non-negotiable. Bouchard clarifying now the man was not arrested for the meme, and he used him as an example of the rhetoric, which is protected.
The memes I've seen are offensive, they're insulting, they're wrong, they're anti-Semitic, and we ought to criticize them. But they also are pretty clearly political speech.
Well, we learned the man behind the meme is accused of some heinous crimes, targeting at least 2 women. One victim tells us anonymously the 45-year-old suspect terrorized her for a year, threatening to kill her and her family and eat her corpse, while sending pictures of his guns, swords, even flamethrowers through thousands of emails. We're told he was arrested by the U.S. Marshals and is expected to be arraigned in Livingston County, where the charges stem from.
And if you've ever dealt with someone who escalates like that, even on a smaller level, you already know how quickly it can spiral. Now, eventually, law enforcement stepped in. The U.S. Marshals tracked him down and arrested him, bringing an end, at least for now, to what prosecutors say was a prolonged campaign of stalking and intimidation. He's now expected to be arraigned in Livingston County, Michigan, where these charges originated. What makes this case so important isn't just how extreme it is, it's how it progressed. Because a lot of stalking cases follow the same pattern. It starts with unwanted contact, then escalates into obsession, then threats, and sometimes actual violence. And in this case, you can clearly see the escalation from communication to intimidation to explicit threats to showing weapons. That's a dangerous trajectory. And I've personally seen how that escalation can play out. How it can go from small, dismissible behavior to something that starts affecting your real life, your safety, your peace, even your livelihood. And by the time other people take it seriously, you've already been dealing with it for a long time. And it raises a serious question. How early should intervention happen in cases like this? Because by the time you're seeing threats like this, the situation has already gone way too far. And one more thing people are missing. The viral meme distracted a lot of people from what was actually happening. This wasn't about free speech. It was about someone who, according to authorities, was already accused of stalking, allegedly making violent threats, and actively terrorizing victims for over a year. The meme just exposed him. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think stalking cases are still being taken too lightly? Or do you think law enforcement is stepping in at the right time? Because situations like this show how fast things can escalate and how dangerous they can become if ignored. And for people who've actually lived through even a fraction of this, you already know it's not something you just ignore. I'm telling you from personal experience, there are a lot of disturbed, unhinged, obsessive people on this app and across social media. Some diagnosed, some not, and some hiding it very well. What you see on the surface can look like opinions, drama, or just free speech. But behind the scenes, it can be something completely different. I've dealt with harassment, the targeting, the stalking, the attempts to intimidate and tear down my real life, not just online, but off of it as well. And that's why stories like this aren't shocking to me. They are a reminder of how real this actually gets. Because just like in this case, what starts online doesn't always stay online. It can escalate. It can become obsessive. And it can turn dangerous. So when you see certain behavior, don't just brush it off as they're just talking. Pay attention, because the same person you think is just being controversial or entertaining online could be showing you warning signs in real time. And the reality is, you could be supporting them, boosting them, or even funding someone who's actively harming people behind the scenes. So protect yourself, move smart, and don't ignore red flags just because they're happening through a screen. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Click the like button for me, and please stay safe. This is Gail at Night. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for supporting. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and set the bell to all.